So phase 2 topics are these. So Simon, you want to quickly go over what you're going to be covering in the 2 further days of live streaming?
So we'll go through diagnosis and treatment planning in a little bit more detail. So we spoke about the medical model and the difference between early intervention and late intervention. And what we want to do is talk a little bit about how someone like Roland Barrowman, who's a max-fac surgeon, can help with late intervention, doing TAD-assisted maxillary expansion and also orthodontic surgery. We want to look at early intervention where we can include ENTs like Perry Burston to help with clearing the nose, clearing the airways. That brings us to, how does that correlate? How does airways and breathing and bite forces and malocclusion, how does it interplay? And I want to explore the evolution and the etiology of how sleep and speech and nose breathing versus mouth breathing, how they all came about in the human development. And what does it mean in how we manage it now? We want to talk about true mandibular rotation in growth, which is the most important concept to understand. And it's a really complex concept in order to understand the difference between how you make postural appliances work and how functional appliances don't work when you are trying to distract the condyle out of its socket in the growing child. And then how you manage the hyperdivergent class 2 and class 3 patients, and how we can kind of study twins and genetics to try to help us understand. We want to integrate pediatric sleep disorder breathing. We want to learn a bit about the research that's currently present. We want to involve, again, ENTs like Perry Burston and hopefully his colleagues who are pediatric sleep physicians. We want to spend some time in particular about airway obstructions. So again, involving people like Chus Randall and Perry Burston in helping us understand diagnosis and how to refer and what they would do to manage and correct these issues. We want to touch upon how caries, recession, and bruxism interplay with life in general, and where the source and the origins are. We want to spend some time really giving Roland Barrowman a floor to talk about orthodontic surgical techniques that are airway based. We want to go through how I treat using bioblock orthotropics, how I get the vertical control, how do I manage the early intervention complex skeletal treatment, and how people like Roland manage the late cases where the jaws are completely mismatched. And that's how hopefully we'll be able to integrate the next component in our studies with postural orthodontics and orthotropics.
All right, terrific. So that's going to be, all these topics will be spread over 2 days, 2 additional days, 20th of June, 26th of July. We decided not to have them on just 2 days in a row. That would be kind of perhaps a bit overwhelming. It's better to, have 1 day, you get the recording within a week, and you get to absorb it. And then if a couple of weeks after the live stream, there's another Q&A in between, etc. So once mentioned, this came up, we decided only recently we were going to throw in 2 bonus Q&A sessions that will be, just mark these dates. We've decided to just have them on the Saturday. So we're going to do a proper poll on whether Saturday or Sunday, but I think most people are preferring longer term to have the Q&As on a Sunday. But for now, we'll stick to these 2 dates for the next 2 Q&A sessions, 10 a.m. Melbourne time to 12. They will be recorded if you can't make it. And yes, if you do have some patient case studies, Simon can spend a part of that 2 hours covering it. If everyone submits case studies, it won't be enough time, obviously, because there's going to be other general questions in relation to what he covered today. For phase 2, though, there is a bonus session in between the 2 days. So the 2 days, mark these dates, please. June 28th Sunday and the last Sunday of July. So really the last Sunday of June and the last Sunday of July, 8:30 to 5:30. And the bonus Q&A is in between, which is July 11th, which is a Saturday, 10 to 12. All right. So once again, the pricing, I know this is complex. So just focus on the left-hand column for now, because there's a lot of numbers there. You've all joined in on phase one, right? You all got the super early bird pricing for the live stream. We have another dozen more, about 20 other people who bought the recording. They just preferred to get the recording and not the live stream. But for phase two, there is super early bird available, and it ends 31st of May. So you've got until the end of the month, another 2 weeks, to decide whether you want to continue. It all comes with 30-day money-back guarantee anyway. So the live attendance, where you get to, just force yourself, okay, I'm going to do it on that day, as opposed to spreading out the recording, watching, how it is with the recordings. It's hard to just sit and watch one full day of recording. But if you're joining the live stream, then you just make that commitment to go through it on that day. So that's $1,500 plus GST, or $1,200 for the recording, right? So, and then phase three, which is not available at the moment, we haven't put that for enrolling yet, but that will be the 3-month mini mentorship every 2 weeks, 2 hours, and the clinical. So you just need to schedule a time. Things are still COVID restricted, so whenever it's deemed to be safe to visit the practices and so on, in small groups of 1 or 2 people, or the intention is to have a maximum of 2 or 3 dentists come, but that all depends on all the COVID restrictions. So that's $2,500 for the live attendance or live stream, or $2,000 for the recording. All right, plus the GST. So that you don't have to make that decision until end of June. So the website is already updated to reflect that you can actually enroll. As you can see here, we just updated it yesterday. So phase 1 and 2 is now on sale, so to speak, right? So if you click on here, it has the PDF download present. Everything that I'm covering now is all covered in that one download link here. It's updated, right? So this yellow button here. The topics covered in phase 2 are all mentioned here, as you can see. And the bonus times, the bonus sessions for phase 1 and bonus sessions for phase 2. You've all got my marketing course. You've got the, what are the price increases for early bird and regular. And then you can see here, phase 1 is now only available as a recording, right? For those who still want to join the advanced program, but at a later date. And then phase 2 is available, as you can see here. All right, so that's that. Yeah, it all comes with a unconditional 100% money back guarantee. And I think that's about it.